Hi, welcome to the Freeman Conversations. I'm Joe Bertolca, the online editor of the Freeman, and this is Power Women, our way of paying tribute to women who are not afraid to make a difference. Our guest today is a mother, a wife, an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, and above all, a survivor. She is one of the most outstanding club presidents of Rotary Club and also former officer of the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and as well as a very strong advocate of breast cancer awareness. I'm talking about Miss Mary Ann or May Ann Alcordo Solomon.
Good day,
Miss,
everyone.
thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Happy Women's Month.
Thank you very much.
To all of us.
To all the women.
To all the women.
To all the women. Happy Women's Month.
Yes. We're very glad to have you with us today. Of course, we'd like to begin by asking you about your advocacy.
Okay.
You've been advocating for the right of women to be able to protect herself.
In a way, to be more focused, my advocacy is very close to my heart.
Yes.
So pardon the pun, I'm a breast cancer survivor. So my advocacy is on early detection of breast cancer. The earlier it is detected, it can save lives and it can save money. But before this, I embrace the advocacies of Rotary, and that includes maternal and child care protection, and we also do environment and educational advocacies, plus on special children, on autism and children with cancer. So I think where we're needed, like a mother, that's where my heart is. But closest to me now is on breast cancer advocacy.
If you may tell us your story about how you began advocating.
It was in 2004 when I felt a lump on my right armpit, not on my breast. And little did I know that the breast is not just the two mounds on your chest. It's right underneath your neck, your clavicle, all the way to your chest and under your armpit. That is actually the breast area. So I felt a lump, and right there and then, I'm a radical person. If I know it doesn't belong, I want it removed. So I went to see my doctor, my OBGYN, who recommended to have a mammogram. On that same day, I had a mammogram, and the readings showed suspicious growth. So I went to a sonologist for the ultrasound. It was confirmed suspicious. Then I had a biopsy, and then it was confirmed that I had carcinoma or cancer. Then I met the surgeon that same day on the evening, and I was advised to check in and have my surgery. Initially, it would have been a mastectomy. Without any dilly-dallying, I checked in the next day. And I had supposedly a mastectomy, but when I woke up at the recovery, I only had a lumpectomy. The doctor, I trusted my doctor, and I said, do what you have to do. If it's a mastectomy, so be it. If it's a lumpectomy, it's a blessing. So when I woke up, my husband, who's Tagalog by the way, and he whispered, you know, honey, you still have 2 toys. Sabi ko, why? No wonder pala 1 toy plus 1 toy is 2 toys. Yung pala yung sa Bisaya. So I still have actually 1 and 1/2.
Okay.
And since then, I was told to go to chemo. Now, thinking about it, I asked, what caused my cancer? I had no history of cancer in my family. That was in 2004. So the doctor, my oncologist, has said, perhaps it's your lifestyle. And lifestyle is defined as the food you eat, the pollution, because we can't control the air we breathe, and stress. We're all stressed. Even students are stressed nowadays when they study. So I think that contributed to the growth of the supposedly cancer cells, which everyone actually has. Only it gets to be triggered. So I was a good patient. I went through my chemo. I had 6 cycles of chemo. I lost my hair. but I didn't lose my faith and I didn't lose my spirit.
When you say 6 cycles, how long did it take?
Every 3 weeks. So it's just every month. And then on the first month, right, a few weeks after your first chemo, I lost my hair. So what you see in the TV, that when you brush your hair and it's like cotton candy or hair flight, that's how it looks like. So I had my hair shaven off and I made the best of it. I had nice bandanas, I had nice wigs, and I had nice chandelier earrings. So I was still fashionista. And I had a nice mask. So whatever was on my head was on my mouth. So,
nice.
Yeah, you have to look good. If you look good, you feel good.
Correct.
Otherwise, if I just wore a white mask, I'd look like the waiter in Ding Hao going around the mall. So I wanted to look good.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have the positive attitude because I realized that the victim, as they say, you'll be a victim, is not you. The victim is your loved one.
Yeah.
Your husband, your children, and your friends. You know,
People
sometimes the people around you, sometimes they're so praning, pardon the lingo, but they don't know how to approach you, they don't know how to comfort you. My husband, for one, would look as if he's very brave, but in the middle of the night, he thinks I'm asleep, he goes to the bathroom and cries. So you see, then I snapped out. I said, human as we are, we go to the roller coaster of emotions. Of course, when I was told, "Man, you have cancer," wow, it hit me like I was given a death sentence.
Yeah.
So I went to the roller coaster of emotions of fear, anger, and denial. Pabalik-balik yung tatlo. And then when I saw my kids and my husband crying and being too emotional, I had to snap out. Then it progressed. I had to learn to embrace what I had. Because one philosophy in life that I believe in is, this will pass. Nothing is permanent. So I said, okay, I'll go with the flow. I'll enjoy the moment. I'll seize the moment.
It's a very positive outlook.
Very positive. And I hang on to the support of my loved ones, actually. So I said, I have to be stronger for them. So
if we could just backtrack a bit, when you learned that you had cancer, how fast did it make you decide to go through?
Very fast. How fast to go through my medical?
Yes.
Very fast. I was diagnosed.
And why was it that fast?
Okay. Maybe because being a woman, I'm very vain. So if I have a pimple, I'll have it removed. Or if I have a blackhead, I'll have it removed. And with the lump, it didn't belong to my body. So I wanted it removed right away. I was afraid that it might grow, although it won't grow because the doctor told me it's not the aggressive type of cancer. But it just didn't belong in my body. So I had to take it out.
Right.
And I felt that if it is taken out, the anxiety will be lessened. There will be too much anxiety for me to think that something is growing inside me, which should not be growing. So that
definitely worked to
your advantage. It did. It made me face the consequence of going through chemo right away and losing my hair right away instead of taking my time and processing everything. It takes time, but then as I said, or maybe I'm just weird, or maybe I'm just too strong that I got it from my loved one. I just had to move on. I had to take hold and, as they say, conquer what I have. Because I know at the end of the day, everything will be okay.
How did this experience going through that affect the other areas of your life at that point in time? Your work, your career? I
had to take time. Pacing. Now I had to pace myself. Before I'd always say yes, I'll go here, yes, I'll go there.
When we were younger, right?
Yeah, when we were much younger. And then little do you know that as you grow older, things give way. Your bones are not as strong as they used to, and you're not as capable as you used to. So I had to learn to stop and say no. And then I also had to prioritize and take a look at the little things in life. Sometimes when it's so fast-paced, you forget some little things that should be very important in your life. So to me, it's the little people that matter. It's the little things that matter more than the bigger things. So maybe if you look at it on my career and on my civic role in the years to come, I think it played a good role because I saw the little details that most men do not see.
Interesting point.
Yeah, it's like the macro, micro thing
Yes.
of leading a group like Rotary or even an office. So when I lead at work, it's like a family now. No longer like I'm your boss and you're my subordinate. I empathize. If they go on leave, I ask why, what's wrong. Before I just sign the request of leave and okay, fine, you go on leave. Now I ask why, what's wrong, how can we help? There's more to it. There's now a compassionate side of me after my cancer.
Miss Mayan also happens to be the president and CEO of Alcordo Advertising.
And that's where I've used my medium to maximize the advocacies. So when my LED boards or my billboards are vacant, you will see messages about early detection or ending polio.
Nice.
And I'm a strong supporter of concerts if it's for a good cause. I volunteer or I offer it.
How did you start being active in your advocacy group?
Actually, they found me.
I see. Okay.
I have to give credit to my doctor because I'm a person, when I'm in doubt, I ask questions. Why? And I think that's empowerment. You ask questions because you want to find out more of what you have. And when my doctor realized that I was inquisitive, asking all these questions, and wanted to do something about it, after a week of my surgery, he registered me to a forum. And I didn't expect it to be a lay forum. It was a doctor's forum, and I was the only lay person. So I just sat down and listened. And the doctors were discussing on stage 1, 2, 3, 4, how many months to live, etc., etc. And it struck me. And when the Q&A started, I raised my hand and I just said, "Are you God? How can you tell us that for stage 4, we will die in a month, or in 2 months, or in 3 months? You're not God. I just got diagnosed, and all we want is an honest disclosure and compassion."
How did they answer?
They kept quiet.
Okay.
And I also told them, look at the logo. If you will research or Google, the logo before of Philippine Cancer Society was a crab, because cancer in the horoscope is crab. It's a crab stabbed by a sword. And I go, how friendly can that logo be? It was threatening to anyone who would look at it.
Yeah.
I said, look at, this is blood, look at the bee, the bumblebee. Now it's so wholesome. It's a brand of a fast food chain. And people would like that mascot and have that mascot. So we can do something about that logo. So now the logo for this agency is a rainbow of different colors. So little things like that I took into consideration because it affects your journey to life. So that's how things change. Perspective in life change after I got diagnosed. And then, of course, initial question is, why me? Why not him? Kawatan man to, kato siya, oh. Why me? And then, why not me?
Okay.
Why not me? So it was a calling after all. And every time, every year, I celebrate my birthday and I'm still alive. And I said, oh, I'm still here. So I still have to continue what I have to do.
One major takeaway, well actually 2 major takeaways from what you shared with me earlier is you are very particular with details, and that comes along with you being a woman.
Yes, exactly, yes. Because like little things, when you prepare for a program, the men will just say, sound system, okay, LCD and all. But the women will say, do you have the template for this slide? Do you have the sound system for the back, so those at the back can hear. Well, little details like that, which sometimes the men don't consider. Or a little touch when you have a speaker, a token, and a lei, and everything. And most often, I think it's very common in a convention. It's with the women who take care of those.
Very nice. And of course, the very positive mindset you had during your experience. Where did this strong will come from? It seems that you faced it head on. You were not afraid of it.
I want to say because of my faith. I believe that I would be okay. I believe that instead of given a later stage of cancer, this was a blessing, and I believed in the support and the love of the family. Of course, more than that, I had faith. So when you keep your faith, worries end. That's what I keep telling everyone. Keep the faith because worries end when faith begins.
That's a very nice message. Very, very nice message. Okay, this question actually has been answered partly. What qualities of a woman do you think make you effective in what you do?
It's like Miss Universe.
You mentioned being very particular to details.
Yeah.
Can you share some?
I want to say that we're more detailed and we're more compassionate. We put a little emotions in what we do. As much as we want to be partial, we get to be emotional, which may be good at times and which may be not so good also at times. But
because there's also an argument that women can be too emotional.
Too emotional, but when I say emotional, it adds to the flavor, which is the love flavor of the whole thing, of the whole scenario. You have to balance it. And with that, women also has the tendency to be multitasking.
Yeah.
Which men cannot do.
I heard.
Yeah. We can multitask, which is to our advantage.
Yeah.
And we're very proud of it. So little details which men will not pay attention, we want to give credit to ourselves.
When you were experiencing your journey through cancer, of course you had to take a step back from your work, but how was your mindset as far as career was concerned at that point in time?
I am blessed that I am in a dynamic business, which is advertising. You need not be in person to communicate with the person. So it kept me busy while I'm in the room. There's the cell phone, there's the phone, there's the computer. So I was still able to do my work. Only I was physically handicapped. You know how it is that you want to do so much but you feel sluggish because the medicine takes its toll or you're just too tired.
There were limitations.
There were limitations, yes. On the physical part, which is actually a limitation in leadership as a woman. Like in Rotary, I'm supposed to inspect projects, but I cannot climb so many kilometers, unlike our good friend here who's a super active, woman. She kisses her nose to the neck. Anyway.
We might as well say hello to our community editor in the Freeman, Divine Sanchez Nuho.
The beautiful, sexy long legs. That's it.
Were you still active with Rotary?
In spite of? Oh yeah, I was the district secretary. And my first public appearance was during the district conference where I had a new wig. I say new because when I was bald, I wore different kinds of wig. So I enjoyed it. I got away with it.
What was the response of the Rotary community to your situation at that point?
Well, I want to say that at first when I was diagnosed, they felt bad. And I said, don't pity me, don't even patronize me, because I know I can survive this. And when I survive this, watch out. And they did watch out. Because when I do things in Rotary, I give it 101%. So when you give me a task, I do it. If I accept it, it means I can do it. If I say no, it means I can't do it.
And that's how it should be, right?
And that's how it should be. There should be no sugarcoating in whatever you do. Otherwise, you lack the sincerity in helping out. If you want to help, help.
I agree,
But do not give false hope that you can help this much.
Correct.
If you want to help, help in your own way. Do not give us the impression you can work magic. No.
Yeah, and then fail to deliver in the end.
And fail to deliver. Just be yourself, be sincere, and take it one step at a time. And what pushed me to, as Rotary would say, doing good in the world is, sana man lang, every good deed I do, I earn a point in heaven. Or sana man lang, every good deed I do will protect my loved ones. And that keeps me going. So I offer every good deed to the Lord and say, I give this to you. Take care of my loved ones. So when someone gets sick, I tell myself it could have been worse if I didn't do this. Or if somebody meets an accident, it could have been worse. And if I am blessed, it's because God saw that we're doing something good, and whatever blessing you have, you share. So all for the glory.
Right. When you were diagnosed, by the way, when did you become president of your club?
I became president before I had cancer.
Before,
I was diagnosed in 2004. No, 2001. I was Rotary president in 2001.
Okay.
Then my banner project was on autism, children with autism, because we had a champion in our club, and I thought it was best to sustain this advocacy, and I had a soft heart for children. And when I was diagnosed, on the next room, children with cancer went through their chemo, and I saw how brave they were. They had their chemo and they were running around playing while we were moaning and making reclamo. And that room, incidentally, is in Perpetual Support, and it's called Kyle's Room. It's now Kyle's Room, a very good friend of ours.
I see. So after your treatments, you eventually become district officer.
I became a district officer through the years until I was chosen to the highest position of the district, and that was the district governor last year.
Last year.
Yes, for a full year from July to June of last year. So I'm now the immediate past district governor.
But even before that, you held positions in the
I held
Chamber of
positions-
Commerce and Industry.
I was the trustee for 3 terms, and I'm very proud that I held the chairmanship for the Health Advocacy Committee, and that was where we initiated the grand bloodletting for the business community and the blood agencies and the rest of the community.
How is it being a woman in the business community in Cebu?
There are advantages and there are disadvantages.
Let's begin with the disadvantages.
The disadvantage is you cannot go out to drink with the men after work, and well, I can't play golf, so you can indulge in what men do. As they say, sometimes contracts are closed in the golf course or while drinking beer. That I can't do. But being a woman, I can talk about family, which hits the heart of men. When you start talking about their mothers or their wives or their children, it's close to their heart. So they know that this woman you're dealing with is a family-oriented person. It's not really all about business. Sometimes, to a fault, I always give. I'm more of a giver than a taker. That's why sometimes my managers in the office, okay, you go to your Rotary, we'll take care of the business. I'm more of a giver than to a fault. But the advantage of a woman is that we can easily talk to men versus a man who just goes straight up front. The women has their way. The disadvantage is we can do what men does. You drink with them, you play golf, and then do business after office hours. We have our limitation.
Based on your experience, you've been leading your company for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And based on your experience in CCCI, is the local business environment friendly to women workers?
Yes. In fact, I'm very glad, even if you look at the record for Cebu Chamber, it was during when the year that I was a trustee that we passed the breastfeeding, I think it was an ordinance or a regulation for companies to have rooms for nursing mothers.
Correct, yeah.
So they're open to it. Now the maternity leaves are longer and the men are open to it. I mean, men bosses. But I heard though that there are some companies that when they find out that you are in that right age of giving birth and all, they take some second thought of hiring you initially.
So this must be one of the things that we need to work on.
We need to work on well, maternity leave now that's why it's longer. 6 months, I understand, no, or more than that.
I think that also applies even to fathers.
To the men,
Yeah.
but men will just take 3 days off paternity leave. They will not really take all the months off.
7 months?
7 days.
7 days only for the men? Okay. Before it used to be 3 days. Then now 7 days too. Yeah, that's good for the men to take a rest. Helping the wife in nursing.
What other challenges do female entrepreneurs or workers face today in the business community?
Again, it's the challenge of talking like a guy. when you deal with business, it's talking like a guy, especially when you do biddings. You cannot talk like a guy. When you talk like a guy, they are more aggressive than women. I don't know, the women I know are not that aggressive. They're more aggressive to a point that there are after office hours representation or how do you call dealings after work, which we are limited to. So that's
in a general sense. Do you think the world has made it easier
in
for
general,
women?
yes, women is now welcome in the business world. The fact that we have CEO women, the fact that we had a woman president, and there was a woman prime minister, and supposedly a woman president in one of the first class country. I think we're making a statement now that there's gender equality. In fact, now there are 3 genders: man, woman, and LGBT. So that's how liberal we are nowadays.
How would you describe the modern day Filipina or the modern day Cebuana?
The modern day Cebuana is one word, is busier than before. And to her advantage, she has already all the resources available to make it convenient for her to work. So if you can afford, then you can have a caregiver to stay in the house, or you can have the help in the house, and that allows you to work. However, comes with it sacrifice. Comes with it also lack of time, quantity time, as we used to when we were mostly in the house.
Right. Yeah.
So now we want to look into quality time, but I try to analyze what is quality time when you're just too tired already after an 8 days work. And by that time, your children are also too tired from school. That quality time is at bedtime when the kids are sleeping or during the weekends. So the modern woman now has to be a genius in managing her time.
It should not be that difficult for women, I believe, because you are very used to multitasking.
Yes,
it comes very natural to
It comes
you.
natural, but there's a price you have to pay. Right now, I can say I multitask. I have an empty nest, so I have a lot of time. But if you just started your family, I can't imagine myself doing more than what I'm doing now with the babies, with the house, and then with a husband. That is, I take my hats off. In fact, when people ask some women, are you working? And they just say, I'm just a housewife. Nobody is just a housewife.
Correct, yeah.
You are a housewife. And that, I take my hats off.
I believe that's the most difficult job in the
It's
world.
the most difficult. I tell you, they don't know that we manage a lot of things. Housewife manages the budget, the cooking, the cleaning, the caring. It's so much work when you're left at home. Sometimes you'd rather work and hire someone to do it for you. So no one should say, I'm just a housewife.
Correct.
I have high respect for housewives.
Single mothers.
And
also.
single mothers. I have so much respect for them. And I don't know how they manage their time and their resources.
You mentioned earlier that women have their way of speaking with men in business, for example, in closing deals. In a still largely patriarchal society like the Philippines, how do you think, what are the things that we should do to make women unafraid to speak their mind, to have a voice?
I'd like to give credit to Rotary because in Rotary there is no title. Well, I may have been called governor just for the position, but when we deal with people, we're on first name basis. So even if you're a CEO of the company or even a dean at that, we call them by the first name because we are supposed to be equal.
Level
that
playing field.
level where we're all Rotarians regardless of your vocation and your classification. And that changed my perspective. Unless, of course, we Filipinos, we're very respectful. So we call po, tito, and, sir. That's very good for us. That's innate for Filipinos. We're very respectful. But we keep in mind that if they're smart, you're also smart. You just have to believe in yourself. And the fact that you were able to face this person and you do your research, that this person also started from humble beginning, you'll be inspired. I always look at that way. I get inspired, and when I approach a prospective client, I already know more or less where he began, how he began.
You do your homework.
I do my homework. And I am at awe and inspired when I speak with him that with respect and with humility, I just converse. And when that person sees your sincerity, that makes a difference. There's no sugarcoating in what you can offer, more than what you can offer. Just be yourself. Because people would like to see a true person, not an artificial person.
You credit, based on our conversation, a lot to your experience in
Yes.
Rotary. How do you define, is this also how you define leadership? Not only in Rotary, but also in the positions you have?
Actually, regardless of where or what you lead, is an act of bringing together people for a common cause or for a common advocacy, for example, be it good or be it bad. So you be a good leader or a bad leader. So that, I believe, is leadership. And a good leader would make sure you work as a team. No one should be left behind. And you respect each other's opinion and come up with one common goal, one common vision. And that would be easy for you to lead the group.
Well, no wonder you're one of the outstanding
thank you.
club presidents
I'm
in
very
the world.
consultative. It's not an autonomous group, but I would want to hear from them and play the majority rule. If majority want to do this, then we go by the majority rule.
That's a very good point to make because many studies, for example, have cited that one major trait several people in power lack is the ability to listen to others and to the subordinates.
And I will throw back the question, why is that? Why don't they listen? Because of their vested interest. They block that listening skill because they already have their agenda plotted. But if you keep an open mind, you know that this is what you want to do, you know that this is the goal, Well, you can ask, present to the group. That's why I always have the strategic planning exercise. When we work together and the team building, then you will see the logic or the rationale behind the objective of your activity, of a project, if it's worth it. And you see the teamwork. If it's for the good, everybody will work for it. If it won't work, something must be wrong.
Yeah.
Something must be wrong. How come they're not supporting you here? And it's easy to find out in a strategic planning. When you listen, it's so easy when you listen, but you have to have an open mind.
Do you agree that to become an effective leader, you have to be a follower first?
Yes. You cannot lead if you do not know how to follow. Because when you follow, it means you respect your leader and you know that the leader will lead you to something good. And if you follow, you know how to follow, you will know how to lead.
The concept of servant leadership can be very vague to some. Do you subscribe to that concept?
On the vagueness, yes, it's vague, but when you do things without putting connotation on what type of leadership you have, it all boils down to selflessness. You lead because you're selfless. You don't think about what's in it for you, and that boils down to your servant leadership. This is on another aspect of leading, but if you lead in a company, then that's another goal. You're there for profit. When you're in a civic group, like in Rotary, you give your time, it's for servant leadership.
Different demands.
It's a paradigm shift, different. Here, there's no profit or no money involved. Money with coming up with project, but on what you do, here, you plan, because for business, you're there to earn.
Different objectives.
Yeah.
It's nice that you pointed that out, because the next question is, does it matter to you at the end of the day if people appreciate or recognize what you do?
What matters is for the beneficiaries to appreciate what we did. Doesn't matter to me what the other people think, but what the direct recipients of what we did would feel. That's what matters to me. So at the end of the day, whether your peers who work with you will say something about you, doesn't matter to me, as long as we made the people smile. As long as we delivered what we had to deliver. And I am not answerable to them because I'm answerable to Him. So as long as my heart is pure and my intentions are sincere, I have nothing to be afraid of.
What has motherhood given to you in your leadership positions?
Oh, a lot. And that's where the emotions come in. The compassion, the caring, that's all in motherhood. So I mother my beneficiaries, sometimes to a fault. I can't let go because I'm just too close. I get too close for comfort. Like, I bring them home, and they're already part of some of my family, which my husband does not know. and behind the scene, they go to school, all this, and it gives you the satisfaction that you're making a difference in someone's life.
You've held several positions in several organizations and even your own company. Do you think consciously of your gender?
No.
I don't.
Being a woman, no, I don't think of my being
as a factor to your success?
No, I don't think so. I think of myself as an individual, regardless of gender. I can talk to a man and a woman without thinking I'm a woman. I'm very confident. Only, as we discussed earlier, there are physical constraints, which I can't do. I can't run as fast as you or all these. I can climb the tree, but I'm very confident being a woman. So gender has nothing to do.
With your accomplishments.
With what I've done. I'd like to say, when you say accomplishment, I little kind of cringe.
Okay.
I cringe on the word accomplishment because it's not really an accomplishment. It's actually a, how do you call this? Hard work of, it's a gift. It's a gift, not an accomplishment. I don't want to call it an accomplishment. It's a gift that we shared. And that I just...
Very modest.
No, it's not really, because I don't want to, because when you say accomplishment, it's as if you work hard because you want to have that. That's like a medal to me. No, I do it without counting what I did. And it just surprises me. It's a pleasant surprise when people say, oh, you know what you did. Oh, that's nice to know. But I don't count. But earlier I said, ironically, I tell you every time I do good deeds, I say, let this be a bonus point, but I don't count. He'll be the one to count.
That's for him to measure.
That's for him. I don't count. I just continue doing good in any way I can. But hey, I'm no saint. I'm very human. There are things I don't like and I won't do, and I will say no. And I am not at times smiling because I may not like you.
You seem to have a very positive disposition in almost anything.
I try to, because on a lighter side, I cannot afford a facelift.
What makes you angry? What makes you mad in the workplace, for example, in your civic work?
In what makes me mad is when people get to be condescending. You know, they look down at people. I stand up and defend that person. What makes me mad is when people are nice in front of you and you hear them talk at the back.
I agree, yeah.
That makes me real mad. They're hypocrites. And what makes me mad is when one breaks your trust. That makes me mad.
I agree. Very much. Lessons from your leadership experiences.
Lead with a heart. Oh, Miss Universe, not divine. With a heart. Actually, you listen. That's why do you think the brain is on top of your heart? Because you have to think more than your heart. So balance. And when you lead with passion. Lead with sincerity. And accept that leadership 101%. And I always say this, how would you want to be remembered as a leader?
Please.
That's the question that I tell people. You're asking me how I want to lead. I ask my question, how do I want to be remembered as a leader? And that's the legacy I want to leave. To give a good example, to leave a legacy. In fact, in Rotary, you're only president once. So every time you do a pep talk.
Does that mean you cannot run for another
Well,
term?
you do, but you know, it's so unfair because Rotarians are supposed to be decision makers. Everybody can be a president of a club. So when you become president, you have to give it your 101% because you're only president once and past president forever. So I was district governor once and past district governor forever. What legacy did I leave behind? I'm very proud of the legacy I left. Considering that the district I lead is geographically challenged, I embarked on a one Rotary, one district, one simultaneous activity at a given time. So at given time, we did a grand bloodletting from all over Visayas, Mindanao at one time. Mangrove planting from all over. And then we did the breast cancer walk and so forth. So what was I saying? I unified with the help of the team. We unified the district. What else did we do? We did good public image on the projects that we did. People in action. Not because we want to show off what we did, but because we wanted to be emulated. So let's do the domino effect. You do something good, pay it forward, somebody does another, and so forth and so forth. That's what we wanted to show.
In the area of leadership, and community building, who do you look up to? Women leaders, if we may be very specific.
Oh my goodness. Women leadership. I'm a spiritual person. So I get my hugot from the favorite quotes of Mother Teresa. And then I also read books. So my favorite author is Maya Angelou.
Okay.
I love her. And for a strong woman leader, difficult. I still have not seen that woman leader actually that I want to really idolize. No. I still want to pray and be guided by my prayers and be inspired by ordinary people. Not just by women who hold position, but by ordinary people. And in short, I want to be inspired by life itself.
If I could just ask for your thoughts, do you think Cebu City is ready for a female mayor?
Why not? Again, gender is no issue. Whether you're a man or a woman, if you can lead, you can lead. So, if we had a lady president who led the country, why can't a lady mayor lead the city? We can. It just, we're not given the chance. Women have not been given the chance to be part of politics. Not much.
Not much.
Or maybe because some women find that they have more things better to do in their own field than lead a city where so many people are interested to lead.
You are certainly no stranger to leadership. Do you have plans of entering into public service? Public office?
No, thank you. I can help. I can support. I've been supportive to all the administration. I've been very supportive. But to be in politics, I don't think it's my cup of tea. I would rather be a servant leader in civic groups and in all business groups, but not in politics. I will be stressed out. That's where you will find, I think, challenge for me to do my anger management. What makes you angry? Or people will talk against you. You hear a lot of that in politics.
Right, yeah.
People who you trust but broke your trust, you see a lot of that in politics. I don't want to be subject to that.
Social media, are you active on
Oh,
social
very.
media? Very active.
You asked Divine. That's where I see her.
How do you find the environment on social media, particularly toward women?
Well, I choose my friends.
Okay.
So my Facebook has, how do you call it, privacy setting, right?
Yeah.
So my friends are those I want to see. And my posts are mostly inspirational and positive quotes. So I see it from amongst my friends. It's like, tell me your friends and I'll tell you who you are.
Correct, yeah.
So you'll see my Facebook friend, because Divine is there, you tell me who I am.
What are your thoughts on engaging into debates on social media?
Oh boy, I leave it to the young ones. I leave it to the young ones because I'm not really super active in social media. I post whatever I can share, but not like a 24/7 thing. I can live without social media, so I don't think I'll be credible enough to debate on that passionately. But what I can say, it's a very good tool. In fact, in terms of advertising, it already captured a big chunk of the advertising budget as far as media is concerned. In the OOH, out-of-home media, the social media ranks number 1. So, yeah, it's a good tool if we know how to use it, especially for digital marketing.
Or pushing for advocacy.
Pushing for advocacy, that's true. But to debate on it, there are also the cons on the cyber sex and all this, on the bashing. We see that. But unless you control your circle, you have no problem with that. So go to your privacy setting and you won't get stressed out. So that's where I am, and I'm very comfortable. If I start seeing some of my friends acting differently, I just remove them.
It's as easy as that.
Yeah,
Makes our lives easier.
Makes it easier. So why stress ourselves for one person when I'm happy with my friends there?
We, for the past two episodes of Power Women, we've asked our guests to comment on this quote from the future wife of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. She said in one of the, I think, Women's Month activities in the UK, women don't need to find a voice. They have a voice. They only need to feel empowered to use it. And people need to be encouraged to listen.
Exactly. This boils down to equality. We all have a voice. And as quoted by Meghan, it's empowering ourselves with information so we know what to say. Most often we're limited to what women should only learn. But until such a time that you have more knowledge, like knowledge is power, then you can voice it out. So before, I could not talk about breast cancer. Why? What's my position to talk about it? But because I empowered myself with information of what I have, because of I Can Serve, the support group, the advocacy group. Yes, I have a voice and I can talk about it. I can share my testimony, I can share my opinion, I can share also my views on supplementary, alternative, complementary medicine. I can stand up. That's having a voice, and that's empowerment.
How do we make people listen to our voice?
To women?
Yes.
Well, you need to know what you're saying to begin with. You can't just talk and talk, because women, when we start talking and talking, have always been, perceived as nagging, right? So we learn how to talk. And we learn to talk responsibly. That's a big task for us. In short, we need to be educated.
Very nice.
We need to be educated. You can't just talk and talk. To make sense, you have to be educated. You have to have that knowledge. And as the cliche goes, knowledge is power.
If you have another more message to women and to the men listening, watching us right now, what's your message to them?
My message, it relates to all. It's a favorite quote that goes, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So your duration of your life depends on your choices. You want to do good or you want to do not good. But to leave a mark in society, do it for mankind in serving humanity. Because your reward is not here on earth. Your reward is in heaven. And be a good citizen, and as Rotarians say, service above self.
Miss Mayan, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Power Women. And we hope that more of you will see more of you around.
Oh yes, there'll be a lot if you...
Oh, by the way, your future activities for in iCare.
Oh, in I Can Serve. Yeah, in I Can Serve, we're doing seminars almost every month to celebrate the cancer theme of the month. So last month we did the Cancer Awareness Month. This April we'll do the oral cancer month, on the ears, on the throat cancer. It's really creating awareness. And in between, just the other week, we did a session on coping, because it's difficult not to hear from our caregivers or from our loved one. And that's where we learn that we are not the victims, but them.
So where do you hold your activities?
Depends on the doctor. Sometimes we hold it in the mall. We have friendly malls, you know. They open, and sometimes in the hospital conference room, sometimes in schools. So The doctors will manage where, and we just go.
For those who would want to help and support your organization, how can they reach you?
Well, I can serve, it's a national advocacy group, but we suggest that you go to Eduardo J. Aboitiz Cancer Center. That's at near Vicente Soto, on the second floor of the community building fronting Vicente Soto, and you go and enlist yourself. Then they will link you to us. I can serve. We have no permanent office here because we're all volunteers. And as the coordinator, most often it's my address, but I'm usually out of town. So it's best that we connect with the Eduardo J. Aboitiz Cancer Center or through Kai Foundation, which is in Perpetual Socorro.
Nice.
Or any of the oncologists for cancer related. Now for Rotary related, every day there's always a Rotary meeting. And what makes a Rotary Club unique is the diversity of the members. Like there's one lawyer, one doctor, media, one architect, one teacher. It's so diverse that if you run out of speakers, you can just ask anyone to speak. And whatever value of their vocation, they share it. They share it to the community. And that's the wonderful world of Rotary.
Again, Ms. Mia, thank you very much.
Thank you very
for
much.
being here.
Oh yeah, thank you. I made it. Happy Women's Month.
Happy Women's Month. There you have it, our guest for today's edition of Power Women, Ms. May Alcordo Solomon. She is one of the most outstanding club presidents in Rotary Club. She was also an officer of the Cebu Chamber of Commerce and Industry and president and CEO of her own company, Alcordo Advertising. She is a woman, a leader, a wife, a mother, most of all, and above all, a survivor.
And a friend.
And a friend. Thank you very much for that. Thanks for joining us today in Power Women. And please watch our future episodes as we continue to feature women who are not afraid to make a difference. I am Jobert Ocao, the online editor of The Freeman. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next time here on The Freeman Conversations.